Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Royal Opera House in London. We're on the stage of the Linbury Theatre this evening, and it's great to have your company wherever you're joining us from around the UK or around the world. I'm Petroc Trelawney, and it's my great pleasure to be host of this evening's Insight, which is supported by Rolex. This evening we're exploring one of the ballets that is at the heart of the upcoming triple bill of works by Sir Frederick Ashton, which opens here on April the 23rd. It's going to be a wonderful evening, a chance to see the many different faces of this great choreographer. Frederick Ashton, the storyteller in his adaptation of Turgenev's A Month in the Country. Ashton using the music of Stravinsky in the dazzling Samba ballet. And then to conclude the evening, the celebratory flourish of Rhapsody, his homage to grand classical dance. Well, this evening we're going to focus on the first work of the triple bill, Samba Ballet. It is, like the entire programme, a wonderful showcase for the dancers of the Royal Ballet to celebrate their founder choreographer. And this evening we're also going to be celebrating ourselves, the 10th anniversary of the Frederick Ashton Foundation. A little bit later on, well, in a couple of minutes to be precise, we're going to be joined by 6 dancers from the Royal Ballet who will be rehearsing Samba Ballet, led by Yasmin Nagdi and Vadim Muntegirov. But first of all, I'd like to welcome to the stage Vanessa Palmer, who is shadowing repetiteurs as part of a training programme of the Frederick Ashton Foundation, and the Royal Ballet's guest principal repetiteur, Christopher Carr. It's wonderful to have you both here. Vanessa, Ashton and the Royal Ballet, they're two names that are inseparable, really, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you described him before we started as the father of British ballet, and I think that's a wonderful way of describing him. It's very much part of our DNA in the fabric of the building, and very much a part of, well, myself when I was growing up. And training at the Royal Ballet School.
Christopher, let's have a memory or two of Frederick Ashton, because, well, you both worked with him.
Yes, I did. And he was, in fact, the first person to discover my ballet master qualities, if I dare say that. Because I wasn't in Beatrix Potter, but I was in a later film which was done by them. And I was dancing a P with Ross McGowan. And he asked me to help him, so I did, and kind of that's how it started, which was a wonderful beginning for me.
And that heritage of Ashton that Vanessa touched on there, the idea that, well, Samba Ballet was first seen here in 1948.
Yes.
It's kept coming back through the company. It's kept being danced by an evolving cast of dancers as the Royal Ballet has grown older. That sense of this work being in the patina of the building is very satisfying, isn't it?
Yes, and it is an extremely complicated, driven by the music, Stravinsky, of course, and unbelievably complicated. The patterns are complicated. You have to count the whole ballet from beginning to end, which is 13s, 9s, 6s, 3s. It's incredibly complicated.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking about that, the heritage of the ballet, how it came into being, and how the company has changed as well when we sit down for a longer chat after you've rehearsed. Vanessa, tell us a bit about the foundation that you're here as part of the Frederick Ashton Foundation. What's it been set up to do? Well,
the programme includes a series of lecture demonstrations, various master classes, and then the repetiteur shadowing scheme, which is what I'm part of, which is a way of preserving his legacy and providing a continuity of all of his ballets, being passed down, and so that, things don't get diluted, and that sort of musical nuance and the style is maintained, and all of those really, really important things that are very much part of his, I suppose his legacy is just passed on.
And that idea that it is a living legacy, here's a work that was created 75 years ago, 76 years ago, and yet it's a work of now. It's a work of today for the dancers dancing it over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and it still looks incredibly modern. It must have been ahead of its time, really. It still looks really modern.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
What are we going to see then? What are you going to do this evening?
I'm probably going to flog them to death, as I usually do. No, I won't. We've got a really, unbelievable. This goes on stage on tomorrow, and there are 2 stage calls on Thursday. There are 2 stage calls on Friday. There are 2 performances on Saturday. So we've got to be a little bit gentle with it. But
yes,
we're going to basically see all of it.
Great.
Yes.
And we're seeing, I think, casts from 2 different companies coming together this evening.
You are, because Vadim and Yasmin Nagdi actually don't perform together. In fact, this moment tonight, we're creating history as they will be dancing together in this ballet for the very first time.
I think this is something very special, isn't it? We are kind of watching ballet history, and something that we have exclusively to ourselves. I think we should just give Christopher a little shout for Grant Green, our pianist this evening, because, my goodness, I mean, it's complicated music, and the idea of rehearsing, stopping and starting, he's right on top of this, isn't he?
And he has been absolutely amazing, I tell you. You can waste half an hour of a rehearsal just by trying to find the place. He's right on it, which is fantastic.
Well,
yeah.
I think we're going to have a very exciting 45 minutes ahead. Grant Green plays piano. We welcome men of the Royal Ballet: Leo Dixon, Giacomo Rivero, Theo De Bruyne and Benjamin Eller, and Royal Ballet principals Yasmin Nagdi and Vadim Muntegerov.
Thank you. Good evening. We met earlier on today. So as I told you, they're not actually dancing together, so this is the first time that they are together, so who knows what's going to happen. And but you have got your set of 4 boys, which is a bonus. I don't think you've done it with all the boys at all. I mean, the lifts and everything, it's not happened as yet. And Giacomo actually went on Thursday afternoon because somebody dropped out because of injury, so he was covering another place, so he's actually gone into another place tonight. We vaguely did it on Thursday, so this is the rehearsal. So there we go. So I'm going to start with the beginning. So Yasmin, you can rest a little bit, yes? And I'm going to just do the 4 boys first. So can you just take me the opening positions? Because I just want to show you in detail this choreographic architectural genius, which is so on the music, nightmare to teach, but it is just amazing, really, when you see it in detail. So Vadim, you can just rest for a sec, you're fine, you can sit on the floor or whatever. So let's see the opening positions where you are. So as you can see that these 2 are facing each other, but these 2 are actually both facing downstage. So you've got a problem before you even start. They're going to come a bit further forward because we're going to have to dance slightly around the piano, as you can see. And what they're going to do is that after they've done these positions at the beginning, Leo has to turn to face Theo to match when they start doing this square. So I'm not going to do the very beginning of the positions. I will do when we run it with the music, but I just want to see this position here. So you can see that they're actually on the same leg, which if you're teaching it, you have to get into every orifice of what happens when, else you look like a total idiot in the studio, which I do not like to do, but has happened to me before. So we've done the positions, yeah? So they're facing each other. Now, Leo is not going to travel, and Benjamin is not going to travel, but the other 2 are. So just drop out. Just drop out. So the first 2 are going to do the same, but it's mirrored. So we've done the positions, so I'm right on this tendu. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by the end of there, we should all be facing the front, which we are. The other two, who are travellers, yeah, so they're still on the same leg, but one's coming down stage, one's going up stage. So here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually, when you see it in situ, the two back boys have to turn to face the front to make the square. So let us just do that bit with the music. I'm saving you. I want to go right on the 7. So you've come up for the last position. Yeah? You've done the arabesque. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 5. Yeah, so you should do, actually, when you've done the pirouette, the arms should come together before you do that, and you do that back into 4th. So correction. In the middle of all that, we have Vadim here, doing totally different. Some of you might know, some of you may not know, is that most people are right-handed, some people are left-handed, and it's the same with the dancer. Most turn to the right easily. They find it more difficult to turn to the left or whatever. So Vadim actually turns to the left. You also turn to the left, but it's just tough for you because there are another 3 boys, so you just have to grin and bear it. But because he does turn to the left, we've done a little cheat because it was created on Michael Soames. It's full of double tours. Michael Soames could obviously do very good double tours. So he's not going to do, well, you do a double tour at the end of this combination. But we've actually changed, I've just added in a little change to make him turn to the left. So just do from where we do the change. So you've done that. No, you've done this. You've done this over. So we do. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So on the 2 there, this is what we've added. That should not be there. So then he's going to turn to the left and do the double tour to the left. He should actually wait in 4th this way. So the pirouette goes to the right and the double tour goes to the right. But he ain't going to do that because we want him to look the best he can possibly look. He is fabulous, and we want to make it. There's no point, actually, because it was created in 1948, to make somebody say, you have to do it to the right, because it's just not worth it. If he does it better to the left, that's what we're going to do. So how much time have I taken there? So I think we should go for it. Yes? From the very beginning. Absolutely, from the very beginning. So just before the curtain goes up, the quality, it's not what, as they know, it's not what you do in class. It's got to be really dry, clipped, almost mechanical movement, because that's what the music is doing. Yeah, so he's absolutely followed the music. Okay, just before the curtain, and... This is curtain going. One, two, one. And a 1. Up, up. 1. 1 and 2. All right, okay. Well done. Very, very good. Come back, really nice. It was worth changing it to the left, I think, don't you think? It was absolutely perfect. Well done. Yeah, really nice. So let me look at my idiot guide to Samba Ballet. And the next thing we're going to do is the Glissade Entrance. It's not worth doing the other bit because there should be 12 girls who are not here. It's silly that you're standing here and doing this because there ain't nobody there. So we don't want that. So I'm going to do the Glissade Entrance will be the next thing. But before we do that, Yasmin, I think we should just do the very end, the lift at the very end of your solo. Yes? So, chaps, you've done all of that. You've done that. You're okay with that? So you've gone to there. Yeah? Teo, you've gone to there. Yeah. So just this 10 here for the lift. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And coming down. 1. All right, yeah, okay. If you can, I mean, Ben, you might just have to go a little lower with the arm, because if your feet are up higher, it's better. And looking absolutely right up there would be wonderful. Okay. Yes, all right. So I'm going to do, just before that, I just want you to show, show Whoopsie-Doo, which in ballet, actually, there are lots of funny names given to steps. It's not in the RAD syllabus. You will not find it anywhere like that. But so we know where we're going from, or to, or back to, or forwards to, that we all know. This name was given to this step by Dame Antoinette Sibley, who danced this role many times, was absolutely fabulous. But after the whoopsie-doo, I just want you to show this half a Fred step. So just do it for me. And whoopsie-doo, and a 1, 2, and a... Right, so that is a Fred step. That is a Frederick Ashton step, which actually appears in most ballets. Not all of them, it doesn't appear in The Dream. And you just get half the step, which is extraordinary. You just get the posé in arabesque and the développé, and that is your lot. I think it's the same in Birthday Offering that happens. In most other ballets, you get the complete step. Female Garda, you get it a lot. Month in the Country, you also get it, which is in a phrase of 8, actually. So he's put a glissade in to kind of boost it out. But only half a step, so that can't be bad. Right. Okay, so we're going to do this. I should come in downstage of it. Yeah, so this is a fantastic entrance. Maybe I shouldn't give you this secret away, but I will, is that the girls are doing pirouettes in lines, the front line, middle line, back line, and then they all run in a circle, and the ballerina joins on the end of the line. And so really, basically, unless you're in the know, which you now are in the know, you shouldn't really see her until she arrives at the end of the line, and she arrives dead center, which I think is just the most clever, amazing entrance. So we're going to do the glissades in. So we have a 6 and a 13 for the boys to enter. Are you okay? Right, and the quick double tour, do not forget that. So we want 8, 6, 6 into the boys, then into Yasmin. Okay, this is the girls' pirouettes into the men. And 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Twist. And. 1. 1. Come on, push. 4, 5, 6, 1. All right. Yeah, just come down a sec. Yeah, okay. All right. We're just resting a little bit. Yeah. So as you can see, it is the most incredibly complex musical extravaganza you could possibly achieve, isn't it? It is really, really hard. You have to get all those bounces on point, and the musical phrasing is really, really hard. Yeah, but well done. It was very nice. More twist. We can always do more twist. Always do more. Yes, always do more. Yes, lovely. So let us just have the last jeté into Vadim coming in here to join. Yeah. Just play the last 6 before the 10. Yeah. And 1. Coming down. 1. 1. 2. All right, well done. Yeah, very good. So we were there early because the stage is too small. We need to make the stage bigger. But lovely, very good, well done. The moonwalks were really nice, very nice. Don't forget, very grand across the front here. Sidearm here, yeah. And you make sure it looks as if you're leaning more. Okay. Yes, yeah. Lovely. Right, so then this next combination, which is quite strange, in a word. Definitely before its time, I think. So the girls are lined up behind, and they actually travel back and separate the girls, and a combination of pirouettes, which is, once again, very complicated. Thank you to Stravinsky. Yes? Right, so let's just have the last 6 into going on. Yeah? So we're already here. Yeah? Ready? And 1, 2, 3, arrive, 4, 5, 6, and. And 1. 1 and 2. All right, okay. So you did really well on the pirouettes, considering you've never done it before. So probably 3.5 to face the back. Yeah. On the carry out, try and keep her leg underneath her. Yes. You never know. You might become a pair in the end. You never know. Yeah. For the carry out. Right, well done. You could just be a little higher. The back leg is lovely. The front leg you want to be in front of the shin would be very nice. Okay, very good. How am I doing for time? I'm getting quite nervous. Yeah. Right, so the next thing is that actually we are going to do this. Are you pleased? Probably not. So this is actually a combination on diagonal for the men. I was going to say the downside, but that wouldn't be very good. The complicated thing about it is that it's the first time they do 2 relevés and a rond-de-jambe and 1 relevé, and the second time when the step is repeated, it's the other way around. It's 1 relevé and then 2 relevés. So, yes. So that's it, really. Yes, you will, yes. So be careful coming out. We have 4 in to this section. All right, Grant, ready, and. Okay, well done. Well done. Just come back, chaps. Now. Be much easier when you've got more room. Just be very careful that you stay directly behind Tia and you two are level at all times to keep the pattern. Yes, it all gets a bit rough, but well done. Right, so the next thing is the trees. This is called trees because the girls actually make a combination, and to come on they weave through. I think it was because it's like walking through a wood or whatever, but the girls obviously aren't here. So before we do this, just let me check the time again. Do we need to try anything before we do it?
We can just give it a go.
Are you sure? I tell you what I would like to do before we do it. I would like to do the pirouettes because the pirouettes can kind of go for nothing unless you're visibly aware of it. This, I think, is just, I mean, the ballet apparently was choreographed that you could see it in the round, that you could view it from anywhere. Some of it you can, but this section, I don't think it would look very pretty from behind, and I don't think it would look very pretty from the side. There's a section that the girls do called geometry, which is an incredible pattern where you could view it from the top above, you could view it from below, you could view it from any side, because they're doing this, and it is amazing, actually. It's a shame it's not for a longer period, but this is most certainly en face, I would say. So let us just try. So chaps, try and feed in a line, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. 3 and okay, all right. Okay, all right. Yeah. Let's just, I'll sing from 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 step, step position, and 1 step, step position, and 1 step, step position, and, right, okay. So, I mean, it is actually, because boys are used to starting a pirouette and catching the pirouette, in this situation, they don't have to do that at all. They actually start it off and then say, okay, mate, you deal with it, really. So it's not easy, and but I think it's genius, actually. I really do. It is amazing. So when you see it in the performance, when you come, yes, you'll be able to latch onto this moment. Yes? Right, so let us do the trees. Okay, Grant, so we're right on it. Here we go. Ready, and 1. Boys chassé, 1, 2. and step, step, position. Step, step. Step, step. Step, step. All right, okay, I am going to stop you. So, the arms are up for this pirouette?
The last one?
No, this one, here, the first one.
Ah, yes.
Yes? Yeah. Giacomo, just try this lift for me. So you're just literally going straight up and down. Yeah, try and keep her underleg absolutely underneath her, and then just help her to go back onto Vadim a little bit. Darling, just try that for me. So I've done here, just to Giacomo. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely, lovely, very good. Okay, that's good. It was all good. The pirouettes were good. You are travelling a little forward on the bourrée. Keep it back,
Sure.
else you'll be on the conductor's lap, which we don't want. Yes, so you've got to try and keep it back.
Okay.
Right, let's go on. Just the last 6 into going on. You don't need to do the throw. Yeah. Ready, and 1, 4, and 5, and 6. Position on 1. Lift your chins, boys. 5, 6, and. And a 5, and a 1. One, 2, 3. All right, yeah. So, Leah, you have to get up a little faster to get out. Yeah, but it should be all right with the more depth. And you need to be faster on. Yeah. So, boys, it's really fast. Da liam ba 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 da da dee da 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 dee da 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 da. It's really fast. You're a little bit behind. Yeah. Right, you can just look up to your hands sooner. You're doing a lot out, and then we get the position right at the end. You know what I mean? Where I mean? After promenades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Odd 3. And going on. Ready, and 1, 2, 3. Kneel on 1, 2. 7, 1, 2, cabriole. All right, okay, right, well done. Very good. This was terrific. You've never done it together before, I don't think, which is good. Just when you put her down, if you can just post her onto the back a little bit, would help her hugely. Yeah, just to move her out. When you here with Leo, when you do this arabesque, so you should lie into him and your legs should close when you're like a plank against him before we turn and do this. Yeah, just show me. So be as far away from him as you dare, and lower, and switch, and pull out. You don't like it. It's lovely. It's lovely. Yes?
Don't worry about him.
No, don't worry about him. But it's so unusual. I mean, it was so ahead of its time with the boy here doing a pressage kneeling. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, it's lovely when you close and turn and then that.
Okay.
Yeah. And the standing on the knee, I mean, unbelievable. Yeah. Right, this next section is called Rosadagio because Sir Frederick Ashton adored the Sleeping Beauty. So you will see 5 and 6, 7 into the Rosadagio. And 1, Arrive on 1, 2, and 3, 4, and a 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 1, 2, and a 3, 4, and a. Well done. Yes, very good. You could just come more under and still stay under for the arabesques, even though you're holding the boy's shoulder. Okay. Yeah, it was really good. You need to go around the back a little faster to get that. And there was a dodgy moment where actually nobody was holding you at all near the beginning, which shouldn't happen. Okay. Just mark it for me. Yeah, so we do and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 1. Yeah, so we really need that 1 there. Yeah, and it would be lovely, as I told somebody today, I think it might have been, Sarah, is that when you swap, it'd be lovely if you lifted your head to go to the, from there to the next boy. Okay. Would be really good. Right. Thank you, very well done. Let's just go on to the pantomime. Yes. So this is called pantomime, which has the 12 girls in it as well. So I'd come downstairs, else we're going to be downstairs, downstage, else we're going to be inside the piano, which would not be a good thing. Right, so don't forget on the glissades, the second foot is most important. Your close and looking over the arm. Yeah? Let's go right on it, Grant. Here we are. Ready, and 1, 2. Really sharp. And. 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. All right, okay, well done. There is one moment when you're bringing your arm down too early. Da-dee-da-da-da-dee-da. Da-ya-da-da, da-ya. So it's all always on the little hop. Yeah. Okay. Nervous of the time. So I think we can go on to where we are, into Vadim, who's going to do his double tours, to the left. Yes? Right. So let's just have the last 6. The last 6. Before Vadim. No, the last 6, which is 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. Before you split, the last 6. Yeah? Ready, and 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. Here we go. 1, a 2, 3, a 4. Ronjam close. Ronjam close. A 1, a 2. 1, 2. Switch. Close, back into line. 1, 2, 3. Travel back. 1, a 2, a 4, and. One and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. A 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, well done. Well done. Yes, try and, so we have to travel back, yeah, on this one, yeah, this one. Just show me your crab step. This one, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you're better that time. It was better. You're doing a wrong head at some point, which I can't remember, but I will get it. And don't forget that when we do jeté, chassé, coupé, jeté with this arm up, this arm joins, and we splat down the side for the position, which didn't happen. Yes? Right, okay. Also, when you're doing this, you do da-dum, da-da, ben. You've got to, I know you're doing the other side, but you should turn your head backwards to come back again. Yeah, and there and over there. The C-stones, that was what it is. The C-stones going inwards, you've got to keep your underleg underneath you.
The C-stones
no, this way. Off 1, 2, 3, and 1, and keep that one underneath you. Yeah, you're doing splits in the air. Yes? And also try, I know it's awfully tempting to do yai da dum da with the flick, no flick. Yeah, bring the arm down second here to get, yeah, don't flick it out. Right, so Yasmin, let us do your second solo, which is unbelievably different from the first solo, unbelievably different. So boys, are you staying with us? Would be nice. Yes? Okay, so the 5 in, and. And 1. Well done. Well done. Okay, Kat? Yeah. Okay. Yes, getting through, so you kind of went wrong a little bit. You got slightly out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it was slightly off balance for these. Yeah, a little bit. Sharper on this. Fingernails, you've just had them done. Yeah, yeah, all of that. Let us just go, now before we do that, seeing as you've not, do we need to try this, this lift? Let us just try that. So we don't want any dramas there. So you've just divided 9 and 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and well done for a first time together. I mean, really amazing. Really good. I know you ran into the piano, but do try to get a proper fouette if you can, with the hip out. Yeah. Can we just do from the 7 into going back, into going round to the end of the solo? Yes. Do you know where I am, Grant? Just the 7 before going back? And hardly any jump on this, and your arms could be further back on the back. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The 7 in, and 7. Yes. On. And 7, 8. All right, okay, well done. Very nice. It's so lovely when you do that. Yeah. And you could have held this the whole 6.
Yeah.
You could have done before you did the first one of these.
Okay.
Yeah, really nice. And I mean, even that last hopping diagonal, which looks incredibly easy, which it isn't, is actually a combination of a 5, a 4, and a 6. And when you get to the end of a solo, you're doing a beat and traveling like this in arabesque, to count a 5, a 4, and a 6 is not easy, but you did it beautifully. So that's good. Right, so the next thing that we do is actually called the Samba, which is, again, before its time, with the girls on point coming in like this, which is extraordinary. But we can do the Samba right through, even with the chaps. Yeah, so there are 12 girls on the stage at the same time as this is happening, doing totally different steps. The boys have different counts, the girls have different counts from the boys, and the principals have different counts from everybody. So they're all doing different steps, and they all have different counts. So it can be a bit of a nightmare in the studio, but hopefully we got there. Right, if we play da-da-dee-I, da-die-die, and then we can go on, okay? And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Yeah, so I don't think you closed at the right time. You have to definitely, most certainly go behind them. Yes, yeah. Oh, you're looking for the piano? Yeah. And so, do you know which leg you're coming on? Which leg do you come on?
The right.
On the right. So you must come on the left. Yes, on the left, on 4. Yes, okay. Right, let us go once again. Yeah, and 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. 7, 8, 9. 1, 4. Okay, well done. So you'll be slightly wider than this. You should be right down the front. I know there's not much room here. Yeah. So I'm going to go on now, and I'm going to go right to the end of the ballet. Yes? So we get a standing ovation at the end. This is what we want. Yes? So boys, after you've done the put a bras and you do this, can you then walk off for me? Yes, because you're going to look pretty stupid doing all the partnering with nobody. Yes? So walk right out. Yeah? So, can I do, I can go where the rumbles, yeah? So, Yasmin, you're already down there. Yeah, you're down there on his knee. Yeah, okay. The first rumble. So, boys, you're just walking to the places. Right. Yeah. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, here we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boys exit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, and 2. And 21 and 4 1 2 5 6 9 Come on. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's a tough week. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for that. An absolutely
now.
fascinating rehearsal to watch, and thank you so much. I know this is an incredibly high pressurized time for you, but thank you very much indeed for giving us your time this evening. Thank you. We're going to let go Grant, our pianist, Leo, Giacomo, Teo and Benjamin. Let's give them one more little round of applause. Christopher will be back very shortly, but we're going to give him a little breath for a second. Okay. But don't go far, Christopher. Let's talk to Yasmin and to Vadim. I mean, Yasmin, goodness, what a role this is. Ashton taking no prisoners whatsoever.
It's definitely a difficult role. As Christopher mentioned, the counts, you've got a 5, you've got a 12. He called 19 and a 20. And in between all that, there are really intricate steps, as we all know. Ashton was known for his fast footwork, his aplomb on the use of the upper body. So incorporating all of that into it and then counting these crazy counts on top of it is a lot of brain work. But it's a fun challenge, and it's difficult, but it's not very long. It's 25 minutes, but there's a lot crammed into that 25 minutes. So it's definitely fun. You definitely need your brain switched on before you step onto the stage.
Vadim, a great challenge for you as well.
Yes. Christopher told me in the morning that I'll just do my first entrance. I didn't expect to do a whole ballet. And we actually ran the whole ballet in the morning today. So it's really tough ballet. As Yasmin said, very short, but really, really difficult. It doesn't matter if you're in a very good shape or off shape, it doesn't feel easier. It's always very difficult.
I think we've been so privileged in seeing the two of you together. It seems heartbreaking that this is the only time that this is
Yes,
going to happen.
Yeah.
But
You never know.
Well,
Yes,
yes,
exactly.
That was rather tempting fate, I think, saying that. Tell us a bit about both of your thoughts on Ashton. We were talking earlier on about his legacy and how it permeates every aspect of the Royal Ballet. What does he mean to you?
Ashton, to me, was a big part of my growing up as a young girl. I have some of my earliest memories were watching Ashton ballets on video. I feel old saying video now. But it was watching Female Garde with Leslie Collier, who now I'm so lucky to work with as well, and Cinderella. And actually, I have a really funny story with Christopher.
Go on.
I was around 9 years old, a junior associate at the Royal Ballet School, and we were just walking in a circle with pointed feet, and Christopher was there, and he went, "This one will do for spring." They were auditioning the little children in the junior associates to take part in Cinderella.
Yeah.
And I was there as a spring page with a little lamb. So it's going to feel really special performing in Cinderella next season, knowing that.
Yeah. And Vadim, when did you first hear the name Ashton?
Well, I think when I came to England, to London in 2006. And then when I joined Royal Ballet, I started experiencing his ballets, which I found very, very difficult, technically and acting-wise as well. I think I've never done the steps full out, like over 100% full out.
Yeah.
All the actings was just so difficult, and we are so lucky that we have Christopher, because we worked together on Two Pigeons, and when Two Pigeons came back, I remember Christopher said, "But you remember all the corrections?" And I said, "It's not my fault, it's you. You are a very good teacher. You taught me all this." And then the way Christopher, as you all can see, say all the corrections, it stays in your head forever.
Yeah. One last very brief question, Yasmin. Does Christopher make every rehearsal as much fun as that one was? Because he's such an entertainer himself, isn't he?
He is, and we all adore him because he makes our life easier. He just breathes Ashton ballets, and he knows the counts inside out. I think he says he sometimes dreams about it as well. But you can tell it's just he's got so much passion, and it's such a pleasure for us to work with him. And as Vadim said, you don't forget it. Next time it comes round, those counts will still be there.
Yeah.
The corrections he gives you will be within the counts that you're thinking in your head. So it's fabulous to have him with us.
Well, good luck over the next few weeks in Samba Ballet and your Vadim month in the country as well. Thank you both. Yasmin, Vadim, thank you very much for being with us this evening. Thank you. Well, don't forget that the Royal Opera House website is the place where you can find out all the information you need about this triple bill. Samba Ballet, the first work in the programme. Search for Royal Opera House. You'll find all the details. It opens here at Covent Garden on the 23rd of April. Fascinating how Ashton discovered the score he wanted for Samba Ballet. He was having a bath at the end of a long day, reclining amongst the bubbles and the soap suds, listening to the third programme, the precursor of Radio 3, when he heard a piece of music. He missed what it was. He knew it was Stravinsky, but he didn't know the title of the work. The next day, he phoned up Broadcasting House, got the information he needed, and decided that he would make his own ballet from Samba Ballet, which we'll see as part of this triple bill here at Covent Garden, starting on the 23rd of April. Let's welcome back to the stage Vanessa and Christopher. Well, Vanessa, you and I were sitting backstage, and you were saying, as you heard those counts, as Natalie said, it all came straight back.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I was really pleased, actually, hearing what Yasmin said, because she said that when it comes back, she will know the counts, and if it comes back and I have to be involved, then I don't have to do anything, because Christopher's taught it so well. Yeah, it's just, it is it's incredibly complicated,
Yes.
isn't it? I mean, really complicated.
The whoopsie-doo step, that took you straight back.
Oh, yeah, but there's lots of little isms that Christopher sort of plants in the sort of the piece, and so things come back. I mean, all of the ballets that Christopher teaches have little sort of, I suppose it's sort of little sort of bullet points that he'll sort of call out, and you know exactly where you're supposed to be.
I try, as you said, I drew, I mean, you know, they can be rehearsing till 5:30 and then go down on the stage and do a totally different ballet from what they've been rehearsing. So if I die in the front of the room, the whole room dies. I learnt that early on. So I try to keep the energy level going. And of course, on a non-show day, they're rehearsing until 6:30. So it's long hours, and it's incredibly hard. I mean, you can't go full on all the time, but you have to, else you'll get on the stage and fade out.
And I think it's worth remembering this is an incredibly concentrated burst of performance, isn't it? It's 6 shows in I think 10 days. So the pressure is really enormous on the whole company.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and there's only one cast of 12 girls. Thank goodness there is only one cast. And there are 2 sets of the boys to make it lighter. But with Rhapsody, there are 6 girls. They do not change, and there are 6 boys. Some of these boys, and that doesn't change. So it's really it's quite heavy. It's very. I remember the first time I did Samba Ballet, I was thrown on. I did get a rehearsal. I did it with David Drew. This is going back a long.
Can you remember roughly when?
No, I can't. But I remember us sitting. I mean, dance. I have to say, dance notation is the best thing ever. It really is, because you can open it up. It's not instant reading. You can't walk into a room and saying da 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 da. It's not possible to do that. It's a completely different view. But if you're learning it from video, of course, if you're watching from video, you're seeing somebody full on. But a notation score is actually written from behind a person, so you can see exactly which arm and leg they're using. So that is easier in that fact.
And Samba Ballet has an important role, doesn't it, in the history of Benesh notation?
Yes, I mean, the score that I used is written by somebody called Faith Worth, who was the very first graduate to graduate from the Venice Institute. So and it must have been written probably about early 60s, I would say. Incredible to write. It takes a long time to write a score, a long time, and it takes a long time to read it. But the thing about it is that there should be no mistakes because it's on a page. And it's not moving, whereas in performance and in rehearsal, people make mistakes. And if you say, oh, that's on 6, they could be doing it wrong. So it passes on in a generation as being wrong. But with the score, you can see it's on 6 or 5 or whatever, and it's there in front of you, and it's not moving. You know.
Ashton said in a radio interview that I wanted to do a ballet that could be seen from any angle. Anywhere could be front, so to speak. So I did these geometric figures that are not always facing front. If you saw Samba Ballet from the wings, you get a very different but equally good picture. Now, you were saying that that's not consistent from the whole ballet. But Vanessa and I, you were saying that you would love to be up in the fly tower, watching bits of this to get that.
I'm going to try and see if I can get up there.
Well, for that particular, the sixth section is called geometry, which the 12 girls do, and it really is an amazing pattern of going in and out and crossing, and then they all end up in lines like this for about a count of 6 before it all disintegrates, and then it goes into the tree section, which we did, and it is just. I don't know how he worked the patterns out. It must have been done on paper. It has to have been, but it's incredible. I mean, he was an incredible... He didn't read music, so I believe, but he knew the music inside out, and he knew, before he got into the room, he knew the vision that he wanted, and he would actually create on a person. That's how he had the muses that he used, because they helped him, and that was how he created.
Vanessa, you were talking about the counting, bringing it all back. I mean, do you remember this as a sort of rite of passage for a dancer here?
What, bringing, sorry?
Doing Samba Ballet, the challenge of Samba Ballet.
Yes, I mean, it's always an honour to be involved in an Ashton piece. Generally, it was a sort of small cast, something like Month in the Country and Samba Ballet. And I actually covered Deborah Bull, I think, when I first joined. So that's going back quite a way. And so it was a real honour to be involved. And then once you actually got into the costume and you were on the stage, 100%. And everyone talks about the challenge, but it's also a huge responsibility because of the counting, because of the patterns. If you go wrong, if you're one arm, or you can mess it up, and particularly at the end, it's really hard for the corps de ballet because you're doing this you've got to count, and when the orchestra comes in, some of those notes, sometimes those musical sort of notes are embedded in a lot of other in the instruments, and so you really do have to know the counts, which is why Christopher's a genius, because you do know those counts, so hopefully everything will happen at the same time. But yeah.
If you go wrong,
it's a nightmare.
it is incredibly noticeable.
It's just horrendous.
I mean, unbelievably.
Yeah.
It is.
When he created this in 1948, Vanessa, it seems hard to believe that the company would have been able to do it. I mean, here was a company recovering from the war, but he was absolutely uncompromising. I mean, he said, you will do this. I mean, today's company is so much more technically advanced, isn't it, than the company would have been then.
But it's the musicality. It's the musicality that you know. Obviously, I mean, the technique has sort of progressed, but it's the musicality. All those dancers had such musicality and understanding of the music, so they could move fast, and they had that. I don't know. Energy. Yeah. So it was.
I don't think the fifths and the positions were quite as good as what they are now, because we kind of strive for that. But at the beginning of the ballet, there's a combination that the four tall girls do, which you were one of, which is incredibly complicated. And they're in a diamond pattern. So the front girl here, there's one here, there's two here, and there's one here. The front girl here actually can't see anybody else. So, I mean, she's virtually on her own. Yeah. And then the four medium girls come on across the back, and that is also incredibly complicated. And they have to do pirouettes to the knee, and it's not corps de ballet work, actually, it's soloist work. It's soloist work, really.
Which is why it's
not corps de ballet.
Is it true that Ashton thought this was his favourite ballet?
Yes, I believe it was. Yes, I believe it. I believe it was said that he did. He thought it was his favourite. I think he realised that he'd created something incredibly hard, as you've seen. I mean, you know, the samba there at the end with everybody on different counts is just, you know, mind-blowing, really. But always incredibly musical and always with the most incredible taste. Ashton ballets they've got the most fantastic taste in every way.
And there's a sense that he was paying homage, isn't there, to Pettipa and St. Petersburg and to some of the great figures of other great figures of classical ballet that had come before. This was
absolutely. I mean, so I've heard. He always. I mean, I didn't know him that well, but I did know him through that film that I talked about earlier, and because you never spoke to choreographers, you never spoke to prima ballerinas in those days, and I was in the corps de ballet. Things have changed now, but in those days you did not do it, and you know he was just fantastic the way, you know, he created all these things with fantastic taste, you know.
But there's a wonderful reference in that, you were talking about the rosadage in that, in the last piece, but also with the line of the girls with the emboîtés coming, that's another reference to Sleeping Beauty, isn't it? Really, with all those
and I believe that he said that if he sometimes used to go, I've been told, that he, and I do remember things, that he, if he wanted a lesson in choreography, he would go and watch the Sleeping Beauty prologue, because he just adored the way it builds from the lilac attendants to the king and queen to the fairies and cavaliers, and it's layer upon layer of choreography which does this, and and that's what you can see in his ballets. Particularly, there's a section in Rhapsody which is called Sleeping Beauty. And the Rosadagio in that, of course.
Yeah, and of course this was the immediate precursor to Cinderella, wasn't it?
Yes.
His first full length ballet, which will come back. So do you think there was a little bit, Vanessa, of trying out things here and coming up with ideas that he might then be able to build on?
Probably. I mean, I think that you can always see it's an Ashton ballet. You know, every one of his ballets is familiar, so there's a sort of thread, I suppose, through everything, and one thing leads to another. One thing sort of builds upon something else.
I mean, they're always built from the classical repertoire. I mean, like Symphonic Variations is this which I mean, you would normally do that. But he's gone to this in symphonic variations. And in this ballet, he's gone to this, which is very stylistic to this piece, which normally would be an arabesque like this. You know, but he's gone to this shape.
And they
And
are
that
sort of
comes in
trademarked,
Cinderella,
aren't they?
Yes.
They are sort
Yeah.
of saying,
Yes.
this is Ashton, this is,
Yeah.
this is him. How much, in part of the foundation and what you're doing with the foundation, Vanessa, how much is the history of Ashton, the evolution of Ashton and that relationship with this company? How much of that is part of what the foundation is trying to
Well, I think it's a huge part of it, because it's part of you know, you can't just come into this and you have to understand the history. You have to understand the meaning behind it, the intent. You have to have knowledge of the ballet. You have to. I mean, I taught something for the first time a while back, and the first thing I did in the rehearsal was to actually speak to the dancer about maybe what he was thinking about the beginning, all the information that I tried to that I've read in books and that I tried to sort of impart to the dancer before we started. I mean, when you're in this kind of rehearsal situation, you can't really do that kind of thing. When you're one-on-one and you've just got a little bit more time, then yeah. But I think it's a huge part of it. Yeah.
And is the plan that you will do what Christopher's doing? Is that what this is moving towards?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yes, I think, you know, at the moment it's just, I'm literally in the shadow, and I'm going through a lot of pencils, and it's just sort of copious notes and observation, really, and listening to the sorts of questions that the dancers come out with, and those sort of grey areas, which the notation is brilliant for. I mean, that's something I think that we're hoping to incorporate as well, to learn how to read some of the notation. I did learn it at school, but it was a long time ago.
I hated it.
Yeah, I know you said that, but
yeah. But it was the best thing I ever did to be able to read it.
But it's
the best thing I ever
to be able
did.
to read it, I don't think I'd be able to notate. I mean, I've got my own notes. I've got like 100 pages of this ballet, and I haven't finished yet.
But the thing is I mean, you have to do a lot of preparation work before you go into the studio with maybe 80 people in there. And you never know whether you are in the loop with it until you go into the room and you mess up. There's no way of knowing until you dry up or mess up, you know, because it's to manipulate all these people around.
But for both of you, finally, it must be very satisfying that, you know, here is a piece, as we said at the beginning, over 75 years old, and yet when you come into the room with the latest group of fantastic Royal Ballet dancers, it's a brand new piece, even if it's an old piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's no good trying to make somebody be Margot Fonton or Michael Soames, because they're not. So you've got to give them the structure of the steps and the quality of the steps, and in the end, it has to come from within their heart. Else, it's not for real. They have to live it again.
Really fascinating. Thank you both very much indeed for being with us this evening. Very excitingly, that Cinderella that we mentioned will be here next season, new production of Ashton's great first full-length ballet. That, alas, is all we have time for from the Linbury Theatre this evening. Thank you very much indeed for being with us wherever you're watching in the world, and thank you to our audience here in Covent Garden as well. April the 23rd, the date of the first night of this Ashton triple bill, including Samba Ballet to start off. A big thank you to all our guests this evening, our dancers Yasmin Nagdi, Vadim Montegiroff, Fleo Dixon, Giacomo Rivero, Theo De Broy and Benjamin Eller, pianist Grant Green, and of course to Christopher Carr and Vanessa Palmer. Our insights are supported by Rolex. Thank you very much for joining us, and good night from London. Thank you, that was lovely, really fantastic.